I just wish that people would learn when you understand a person's story, you'll know why they react the way they do or why they do things that they do. And it's amazing how your perspective changes about a person when you understand where they come from.
Since 1996, our commitment to empowering communities has remained unwavering. What began as the Regional Bilateral Agreement has transformed over the years, evolving into AHRDA, then ASETS, and now proudly standing as ISET. Our journey mirrors the growth and resilience of the communities we serve. Some may recognize us as ASETS in Ashcroft, while others know us as ATEC, the Aboriginal Training and Employment Centre here in Kamloops. Today, we stand as a testament to the power of partnerships and the enduring relationships we've built. Our purpose is clear: to showcase the triumphs of our clients, the vibrancy of the communities we serve, and the enduring partnerships that fuel our success. As we navigate through unprecedented challenges, from the trials of COVID-19 to the devastation of floods and wildfires, our resolve remains unshaken. We've adapted, persevered, and continue to make a difference in the lives of those we serve. Join us as we embark on this journey of empowerment, resilience, and community. Together, we're not just changing lives, we're shaping futures.
The ISETs are the organizations that look for what's needed in the communities, and we become a conduit to training services that they might access, right? So if ISETs say, geez, there's a need for skilled people in band finance, band organization, maybe it's in health, what have you, they can come to us and say, we have this need. How can you support it?
Right now we have access to practical nursing program running in partnership with ATEC. So we're using some of their office space as our classroom.
TRU and ASETS have definitely had a long-standing relationship, more than 2 decades, offering trades programming, academic programming, non-credit programming to their many clients.
So I believe our relationship with ASETS started in 1996, so it's close to 30 years.
Oh, we've had this relationship closing in on 2 decades, honestly.
And as a business owner, I was always wanted to be creative in how I could save money and take advantage and utilize programs that would help support small business.
When people are coming in, it's not always that simple. People have lives, they might come in and start at this point, and it takes a while to work through to get to their goals. So it's not always, just come in and we'll give you first aid and boom, you're off to work and everything's great, right? My name is Clorinda Nlaka'pamux. I'm the director of the ISETS agreement here, held by the Shuswap Nation Tribal Council. I've been with the organization now for 25 years.
The one area that's hurting is resources. And of course, when we're looking at being able to support the cost of employing an individual and ensuring that when we employ them, they have the necessary training and uniform to go with the position, we like to maximize those opportunities as well for the band. I am Cookbee Roseanne Casmer. I'm the Cookbee, the chief for Kamloops Shuswap, and also the tribal chief for the Shuswap Nation Tribal Council.
There's been challenge after challenge after challenge with COVID, with the fire, with the atmospheric river. The atmospheric river took its toll on our people. And then to top it off, there was another fire last year which came through. So it's been challenge after challenge after challenge. And then some people are saying, well, what is next? My name is John Sam. I'm the Economic Development Manager for Lytton First Nation.
Part of the impact of the fire was the lack of childcare services for a number of months in the community. Hi, I'm Ramona Baxter, and I work as the Executive Director of Nzanmen Child and Family Development Center here in the Nlaka'pamux Nation.
You know, since colonization policies created to control, minimize Indigenous people, there's a lack of trust. And much like within the school system, there's a lack of trust. White Hushos Halt, Ishquish John Chenoweth in Kill Merit. I'm the John Chenoweth, I'm the VP academic at MVIT. I'm a member of the Upper Nickel Indian Band of the Okanagan Nation.
These are really uncertain times that we're in right now. And all of these catastrophic weather events and COVID and the recession that we're in right now, they affect people's psyche, they affect their employment, they affect the financial ability to live. And that is very stressful. My name is Bernadette Saraki. I'm the Executive Director of the Kamloops Food Bank, and we are in our newest warehouse called the Regional Distribution Hub.
COVID. It was like one day you're thriving and striving, to less than 24 hours later, you are, you know what, we're in a pandemic. This meeting is over. And, you know, it was like the world came to a halt. We still had key areas that we had to, you know, determine what was essential, what was non-essential, to looking at our infrastructure, our land, our resources, and the agreements that we have in place and how they were going to keep continuing, because when we look at those, we still need people. We still need the capacity. We still need our people and those that work for us to continue doing essential jobs to maintain daily life.
COVID's had many different impacts. I mean, when we look at the mental health component of COVID and how it's, you know, we're seeing high school students come up to the post-secondary world, let's call it. Their expectations of a classroom are very different. So, and we're finding a lot more students are quite anxious about being in a classroom, about being in front of a teacher, rather than, you know, that online component that they're typically used to in that, you know, 2 years of being down from COVID. I'm Ivy McCrae. I am from the Nlaka'pamux area, Bonaparte Indian Band. I'm the NVIT Associate Dean of Health.
There's always been a lot of pressure, workload pressure on nurses in the clinical areas. And it's often felt like there's not enough of us to do the work that needs to be done. COVID situation certainly brought that up more to the public eye. I'm Glenna Stewart, and I'm an instructor in the health programs at NVIT, Nicola Valley Institute of Technology and Merit.
Well, Lytton has faced some tremendous challenges with COVID to begin with. Our people are isolated.
So when I look at the natural disasters that we've had with the devastation of fires, we have evacuees from everywhere that have, you know, came to find refuge and a safe place and space to be able to feel like they are still connected to their families, to each other.
Things that we see are, you know, concerns with lack of housing. We typically don't see a lot of students coming on campus anymore due to concerns with housing. So we've had to open up our deliveries through a hybrid platform. As far as the healthcare perspective, and what we're seeing here is our rural health center here is lacking a lot of not just Indigenous, but just healthcare practitioners in general. So we're seeing our little health center closing more often than not due to staffing shortages and inability to properly staff the ER. So it's definitely posed many levels of problems for sure in our valley.
Especially down here in the southern interior, Lytton, Merritt. I mean, we were floods, evacuated from flooding for 8 days, living in Kamloops. Our communities burned to the ground, right? So it's been an interesting 3 years, almost surreal.
We've reached out a lot to the Lytton area since the forest fires and the flooding and everything that happened there, because they still have people that they might be living in Merritt, they might be living in Kamloops. When things first happened, people were in Kelowna. So, they're still not at a point where 100% people can come home.
It's a constant drum beating that ISETs have put forward since their creation around we need help to work with our people that are most vulnerable. And that's where they are in the deep, dark underbelly of our communities, trying to support people that are marginalized. And they're in the shadows.
So working as a rural community nurse for many years, a lot of the things that we see are, Indigenous patients coming in and trying to access care, but by the time they come, their health status is quite significantly low.
We would prefer not to be here, in all honesty. If a food bank didn't exist in a community, that would mean that in some way we were even close to solving poverty, and that would be amazing.
The announcement of 215. And so have that, it was like trauma upon trauma upon trauma, and environmental crisis on top of. It really amplified, when you look at then to where we are now, resilience.
I was born and raised here, and I went away and came back. I think is North America's oldest continually settled village, right? This is an old, ancient place and powerful. I just want to take you back a little bit to June 30th, 2021. That was the day of the Lytton fire. And during that day, we lost our complete infrastructure, which included our childcare center and our family resource programs and all of our administration offices. So as you can imagine, it was a substantial loss to our organization.
In terms of Lytton First Nation, the fire a number of years back was totally devastating to the band. There was a total loss of structures on the reserve nearest to town. There were homes lost above the reserve, above the Trans-Canada Highway. The band administration office was burned. The church was burned, and it was just Armageddon.
Esquess, Wesley Francois, Squalax Nlaka'pamux, West Francois. My name is West Francois. I'm from Squalax, formerly known as Little Shuswap Lake Band. My task when the fires came through was to basically rebuild the community. We lost 34 homes, our gas stations, strip malls, golf courses, O&M yards, graveyards, band offices, you name it. A lot of that stuff burnt to the ground. The province was supposed to manage this fire. It got away from them through various things, and it burnt my community down. So everybody has to help in terms of the salmon, because if you look at that watershed right now, where the Adams River is, it's all burnt. And the runoff is gonna be all soot. And all those eggs in that friggin' river right there, they're gonna be smothered and gone. So we have to figure out a long-term plan And it's going to be all hands on deck to say, how are we going to fix this problem? Because we could be seeing the extinction of that salmon run. Theoretically, you know, we're thinking, oh, it might happen in 50 years, but it might happen next year or the next big run. We'll see sparse numbers coming back and saying, where's all the salmon? Well, they're gone. So I don't know how we're going to fix it, but this is what we're thinking about. And we're using, you know, our values, and we need to fix this. You guys got to start thinking about this, you know, the feds, the province. ISETs can help by some of the training programs, whatever that may be. I don't know yet.
We are a very inclusive and diverse workplace. We welcome everybody into our workplace, and we shine a spotlight on their strengths. And it creates a very strong commitment to the organization from every single one of us that are here, because we're valued. And we have connected in with ATEC many, many years ago. So that's the Aboriginal Skills and Employment Training Strategy. And what they're attempting to do is offer meaningful work experiences to Aboriginal youth. And we were delighted to be chosen as a workplace that they accepted to have these students and these young students. Well, they're not just students, these young Aboriginal individuals come in and work with us. And what the intention is to give them a positive and meaningful workplace experience so that then they can transfer those skills out and experience a healthy transition back into employment.
My name is Happy Metcalf, and I'm an employment counselor here at the Aboriginal Training and Employment Center in Kamloops. A lot of people are, you know, just trying to find a job, but most people too are trying to find something that they feel good about and, you know, that they're passionate about.
My name is Brianna. I am from Kamloops, British Columbia, where we are today. And my role is the intake desk. So I welcome clients, and then I put them through the intake. I am doing my bachelor's in philosophy and political sciences. I did that 10-week program with them, and just being able to help those who actually need my help, it's been really meaningful for me in that way. And then as far as skills, I think I am talking to just very different people every single day. And so it's just made me a little more outgoing and helped me break out of my shell a bit. If ATEC hadn't been there, I would have probably not been able to work straight out of high school and save as much money as I did, because that really helped me in my first year and just getting settled on my own.
I would definitely say I gained more of a interpersonal level, like with people, for sure. Like I have never dealt with so many people and helping people in that kind of way. Like every day I'm helping 140 people at least, like I said, and that's only just growing. I emailed ATEC and they had an interview with me. They said that I was a good worker. I guess I hit all the requirements, and then they forwarded my resume. Well, I think it's always good to be and know your community, and I like it because you're helping people.
So I'm the client services specialist. I basically work up front, keep the front running and smoothly, take care of the clients, make sure everything's good. Been here since August, a year in August, and it's been a pretty good experience so far. I've liked it a lot. I actually went to ATEC because I was looking for a job, and just happened to be that there was a position here open because they do a partnership with the food bank, and they let me know there was a position, so they gave me a little referral and I came here.
Been working here since 2010. So 13 years here. My role is manager of transportation and safety. So ensuring that all the moving parts are going smoothly and safety. I think a program that ATEC has out there for the Indigenous community is great because it helps get not only young youth involved in the workforce, but people who are already in there and who may need work boots and stuff like that. I believe they help provide that sort of funding to help get any Indigenous folk into the workforce, right? And I think it's great because it's always nice getting a little bit of support and knowing that they're willing to help you out and get you out there and start a career.
I've heard it time and again, you know, from our clients, like they're happy that they have a place, you know, to come to and people that they can relate with.
So we're here at the School of Trades at Thompson Rivers University. I'm Marie Wiesbeck, part of the Community Education and Workforce Development team here. We operate programs within communities and offer non-credit programming as general interest offerings to residents in all of our catchment areas. The program itself actually derived from one of the groups within Lytton, bringing ASETS into the mix out of Ashcroft. The whole project sort of morphed as we went along. TRU had some funding from Skilled Trades BC for Indigenous people in trades training. So we used some of that funding. The organization in Lytton also contributed some, and ASETS was able to provide some living expenses and workplace certification expenses for the students that came through this cohort.
My name's Bob Braille. I'm a heavy equipment operator instructor here. They didn't have to worry about how the money was coming for their families when these people were applied. A lot of them didn't have enough money to make it all work. That was all taken care of. It really made a big difference. We had strong candidates. People wanted to go and finish and go on with their lives and get careers.
I can't say enough how important it is. Funding can be such a barrier to accessing education, post-secondary education for quite a few students. And yeah, the more funding opportunities and programs that are out there, that makes such a big difference. It's not just for tuition, it's also for living expenses, and then there's commuting expenses, and there's clinicals and practicums, and a lot of pieces and details.
During COVID, we had people in school and they all completed.
My name is Natasha. I'm 35, I'm a single mom. I am currently enrolled in the Access to Practical Nursing program. I feel like I've been able to provide for my child in a better way that I probably wouldn't have been able to without the support of ATEC. I took the healthcare assistant program. I was also supported by ATEC.
Part of our agreement, we get what we call the finicky dollars, which is the First Nations Inuit Child Care Initiative. And so I think since probably 2001 is when we took over the child care money in our agreement. Currently, we have 7 daycare agreements, finicky agreements, and they're all for daycares that are situated on reserve within our service area. And so we fund 70 daycare seats altogether.
They have provided annual and ongoing funding to help support the Child Care Center in delivering childcare services by way of covering or helping to cover sort of our general operating costs. So over the years, it's allowed us to keep our fees really low and our childcare programs accessible to families. So we're really appreciative of that ongoing support and commitment of ASETS in providing and in helping to invest into childcare in our community so that our people can go to school or they can meet their work commitments and know that while they're doing that important work and building themselves up, that their children are cared for in a good way. So that's sort of our relationship, and it's been a long relationship and very much valued. So this is the future of the Nzenmin Child and Family Development Center, and we're calling it the Nzenmin Bird's Nest Project. And this site is just absolutely gorgeous. It's absolutely perfect because it looks into our university, it looks into our church, which is the Stein Valley.
The idea behind the daycare was we want to employ our band members, and using the resource like ISET to help wage subsidize or whatever it was, right? But all of a sudden, we realized that a lot of our band members have children.
Children are accessing that service is so important, especially for the parents who have to, go to work. And I think that's incredible.
And that's sort of the premise beside it, if so that we can help people go to work or to go to school and, have safe daycare centers and daycare seats for them to send their children to.
A lot of our guys went through a trades program that was initially funded by ISETs to get their foot in the door.
So we have two pieces to that. We have job starts. So if somebody came to us and they had secured employment, then they might need steel-toe work boots, safety glasses, all of the work gear equipment that they need to start that. We can help them with that. On the other side is we call strategic initiatives funding. And that's for people who come to us. They may just say, I just would need first aid, or, I'm looking for work in the food industry, so I need, food safe or serving it right. Those just basic certificates or safety certifications. But we can also fund people for longer term programs. So for certificate programs, right up to some diploma programs.
I think as Indigenous people, we're not set up like other people are. We don't have family members, or generally we don't have family members who, it's not the norm for us to pursue post-secondary education. It's not like it's simple for us to get out into the world and be set up in that way. And ATEC ISETS has made it simple. They've been super supportive. They've been really wonderful in helping us in the process.
Lytton is grateful for the assistance that ASETS has brought in and helped the band. And I think we just need to continue that cooperation.
We've had a long relationship with ISETS at MVIT, and they understand communities because they are the community. So we try to work and support anyone from an ISET that says, can you help us with this? Because we know where their heart is, right? They are grassroots people, supporting grassroots people where it's mostly needed. Hats off to ISETS.
That serves the needs of so many different First Nations communities, and also for the businesses as well, especially to be able to thrive during times of uncertainty, and to be able to have that same economic opportunity that small business as well as organizations need to be able to support the work that still needs to be done, and to be able to give and support meaningful opportunities for our youth.
We can't be continually being beggars on our own land, and sometimes that's what it feels like when we rely on funding on an annual basis, or always having to sort of prove or demonstrate, what have we gotten for our investment. And it's like, for childcare, for our region, what I see is we've been operating since 1996 as a licensed childcare center. And some of our first kids had that really amazing early start. They've gone on to university. They're in political science, they're engineers, they're nurses, they're drug and alcohol workers, they're teachers, they're some of them, which is kind of, it's beautiful, as they're back working at the daycare, right? So it's been a really amazing thing to witness our children sort of grow up and experience all these gorgeous successes in their lives, right? Not that we can take credit for that, but I would say any investment in early childhood education is going to be a cost savings, like well into the future, right? I think we're going to see higher school retention, less involvement in the criminal and justice system, and less involvement in the child welfare system. So the more we support our little ones and support the families who are trying to make a good living and trying to build their capacity so that they can support their families, is always a good thing. So I don't even think we need to justify it.